Welcome back, everybody. After that break, we are here to jump into the second match of the night. SeolHaeOne Prince up against SANDBOX Gaming. And it is the day of red teams. We have only red teams today.
Yeah.
AT1, SeolHaeOne Prince, who's, kind of like a little bit pinkish, but mostly red. And SANDBOX are also quite red indeed. We didn't have too many red team comps, but maybe with these two teams, LS, we might have that coming today.
Oh, we absolutely will. The Sinners are probably coming when it comes to the draft, but we'll have to wait and see what it does have in store for us officially. SANDBOX obviously has been on a bit of a resurgence in the last couple of their series. They started off the split facing basically all the top-end teams, so they got pulverized by them. And then the true test was seeing how they were going to match up against some of the lower standing and east side teams inside of the league. So far they've been doing pretty good. Can they keep that up against SeolHaeOne Prince today? We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, I mean, that is my guess. SeolHaeOne Prince are on a pretty nasty losing streak. They actually haven't won a game in, I think, 11 games in a row, and 5 series now.
I think Pepperidge Farm remembers.
It's hard to remember that many losses in a row, but thankfully when you have the sheet, that tells you
probably saw their
everything.
last win in his yearbook.
Aphelios?
Yeah. Probably the last time they got a win.
Many years ago. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, 7 matches, 11 games. Losing streak here. SeolHaeOne Prince has to stop this chain versus SANDBOX trying to come out on top of the east side of the bracket. 3 straight wins after picking up 5 losses in a row. SANDBOX has been revived with the Yamato Magic, and it's time for the 4th W.
Yeah, and we'll see. Key to SANDBOX's winning streak is Fate 6-3, 66.7% win rate. Can Mickey roll a 6 and shut him down? And this is obviously alluding to the Mickey die roll, where he can either just run it down, or he can end up showing up and carrying the game. And Gorilla has 3,978 assists so far. Can he become the first player to reach 4,000 assists in the LCK today? And that would be an achievement. I also like how that is highlighted yellow, like a banana. And then now I'm thinking of King Kong.
Are you thinking about the boat that we saw in the last game that was being tipped over by King Kong? Yeah. Series 1 references. You guys wouldn't get it.
I just picture Bully Bear like chained to the ship and then everyone else getting on the lifeboat.
Down.
Just let him go.
He's underwater. He's grabbing the bottom of the ship.
Oh, man.
Wow, this is a big graphic for Gorilla. Obviously one of our favorite players here in the LCK. He has the most assists on his Alistair, actually.
Yeah. 533, and you can take a look at when he was playing all of these games, and that's right, LCK used to have a winter.
Yeah.
As autumn is generally Worlds, and so winter was the following thing. Now we have Kespa Cup.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure what happens later on this year because of franchising and everything, so yeah, that'll be interesting.
That it shall. And will there be a revival of winter? I don't think so, but maybe someday winter will be coming.
So surprised that Thresh isn't his highest, but...
Yeah, well, he's played for a long time, since 2013, so many metas.
In Thresh came out 2012, didn't he? Winter 2012?
Thresh has been around for a long time.
I think winter 2012 he came out, so... Team stats! SANDBOX are first turret percent, 61.1%. They are 3rd in the league there. Win rate with a gold lead at 20, 85.7%. Valdez.
Wow.
Now, generally, they normally don't have a gold lead at 20, so.
Yeah.
But when they do, Valdez.
7 games. That's that's a lot. Yeah. They're 8th in terms of average goal difference at 20. As Hybrid is going to be playing today, this is kind of the standard lineup here from SeolHaeOne Prince, so no shenanigans, no Trigger and Mia today, at least for game number 1.
I like how you said that. Did you notice?
What
I thought you slipped up and said triggering Mia.
Oh, no.
Yeah, all right. Not a big deal. On the side of SANDBOX, there's Summit. And a lot of people are probably wondering if he will return to his dominant form. At one point, I mean, I had him slated as being the best in LCK, but are we going to get Summit or Plummet here today in this game between SANDBOX and SeolHaeOne Prince? We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, and Fate absolutely deserves to be highlighted here. Take a look at this, guys. His stats are pretty insane. Now, he's only played 9 games, so he came in after Dove had already played 9 games. So SANDBOX in total, 18 games. Fate has played half of them. But so far, his stats really tell the story of just how good this player is. He usually does the most damage for his team. He's first in terms of damage percentage. He's very active. He's extremely mechanically skilled and a very smart player at the same time, which is obviously a deadly combo. He's not the type of player to dominate you in lane or, you know, destroy you or pick up solo kills or anything like that, but his team fighting and his general, you know, awareness when he's fighting is really good, on top of his fantastic LeBlanc play, which might actually get banned here in this game. I think if SeolHaeOne Prince want to have a chance.
And this is going to be an interesting matchup, because if SeolHaeOne Prince can't manage to win this series, I mean, I think that going into round 2, things are looking very, very grim for them. This is going to be one of the assumed easier matchups. And so we'll see what they can manage to do against it. Can Hybrid come online and do something meaningful? This is going to be one of the big questions.
Yeah. You remember that one game we had where he went a little bit too far in the bottom inhibitor when they were on the lose side and threw the game? After that, I swear he's not the same player. I don't know what happened.
That was it.
There was one slip up, and then all of a sudden,
all downhill from there.
Yeah. And that was, again, that was like 5 series ago. So they definitely have to turn this ship around. We'll see if they can do it here. They're starting on blue, and they're going to take away Senna.
And Senna being banned away means that no fasting possibilities for SANDBOX, who respond with a Twisted Fate ban away.
Even better is the Olaf ban.
Yeah. Olaf getting banned away here. Interesting. It looks like the referee is recording the bans. I hadn't seen that before. Do you know the reason, perhaps? Because I would just imagine everything's being recorded by video. So what is...
Well, I mean, it's good to have it down. I just didn't think that the referees would be the one doing it.
Yeah.
I thought it would be someone backstage, like, oh, okay, this is the pick ban, you know. Because things can go wrong and people can forget, and then it's like, we don't want to delay production by, you know, going back and watching the video and all that stuff. They want to have it on hand.
Well, SANDBOX now have banned away the Karma. SeolHaeOne Prince banning away the Aphelios. So this will mean that Ezreal is going to be open and available. Nidalee getting banned away is a little bit surprising, because I think that Flawless's Nidalee performance looks like she would have trouble shapeshifting.
Oh my god.
You know, she goes for it and then something just happens.
Oh boy. Poor guy. Kalista was left available, by the way. The Volibear is such a hot pick right now in the LCK, and it's getting some wins, but it doesn't seem as dominant as the priority kind of shows us, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Traptal can manage to do anything here for SANDBOX. Now, they're drafting 2 short-range engaged champions, and here comes Ezreal. Very good against both the champions that SANDBOX has picked right now. Volibear is also good against both of these champions in a vacuum. And so I think that SANDBOX, they're feeling pretty okay right now. All right, well, now that LeBlanc is a little bit worrisome, Mickey is rubbing the hot pack on the middle of his chest, and yeah.
That's kind of right where your stomach begins, actually. So maybe he's trying to,
maybe he's having some stomach issues.
It actually helps. You rub something warm on your stomach to relieve any kind of stomach pains. And I kind of like the LeBlanc pick. Maybe it doesn't work too much with the comp, but you're also denying it away from Fate. I think he absolutely would have picked it. But instead, he will not be able to, and he picks up Syndra. And he's played a couple of games of Syndra. He's 1-1 on the pick. So definitely it's in his champion pool.
Well, Syndra being locked in here is going to be pretty interesting. If the Syndra player is proficient at the matchup, it is pretty okay against LeBlanc. And Lee Sin now has been banned away by SANDBOX. SeolHaeOne Prince responded with a Jax pick, maybe foreshadowing that Volibear will end up top, or at least they want the option to not have him be forced into the jungle. One of the way lesser common things is Volibear support. No one's done it yet in LCK. Gnar even getting banned away now, but that's not really a bad matchup for Volibear. So that is a bit surprising. We'll see.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see the SANDBOX dynamic with the two coaches. And obviously the bit of translation that needs to go on through Gorilla, kind of heading the operation. Joker can obviously speak some English, and it seems like they have decided on Nautilus here for Gorilla.
And Nautilus getting locked in means that SeolHaeOne Prince, they have options to now counterpick this. And I mean, even in a spot like this, Morgana, even Morgana jungle would even actually be okay. Or they could even lock in Morgana and do a little bit of topsy-turvy in the draft phase at the last 20 seconds, but Tom's going to be picked up instead as a handshake, so they're not going for any sort of dominance.
Yeah, it did look like Secret was kind of calling for that. Now he's just listening to what Flawless has to say. And it doesn't look like they have any interest in throwing Volibear into the jungle. Based on what they're hovering, it will be Graves.
So Graves is coming out here, and this is going to make it so that Mickey is going to basically be the lone magic damage dealer. I mean, obviously Ezreal will deal a bit of magic, Volibear hybrid as well, but no one's really going to stack any sort of magic resistance, and Kennen's being hovered right now. But the thing is that SeolHaeOne Prince, the way that they fight all their team fights is they don't have to commit with Volley. And so Ezreal and LeBlanc, they don't need an introduction to how nimble they are inside of fights and how often they can reposition. Kennen on red side has a much harder time getting flanks, just due to the nature of the map layout. Relative to Baron in the end stages, it's very hard to get wards inside of the blue side jungle of the blue team. And so definitely a very aggressive, spiky team out of SANDBOX. And
yeah,
we'll see what they manage to do here, because things can definitely get a little bit dicey. And will Graves pick up his second win?
That's the real storyline coming into this game. And yeah, he's going to be heading up a lot of that 80 damage here, obviously alongside of the Ezreal. And yeah, he's been looking very anemic here in the LCK, the Graves, but we see players like Beyond, like Flawless, they're still sticking to their guns with the Graves and trying to make it work.
And, well, we'll see what goes on. Kennen, Trundle, Syndra, Kalista, and Nautilus. This is a very red comp. No,
yeah, there we go.
We're getting it.
Right in your face.
Yep.
And there you go. It's going to be up to Root to do the majority of the physical damage in this composition. Trundle's not going to be doing too much. And they do actually have a lot of magic damage in their comp beside of SANDBOX. You think Kennen, Syndra, just the two of them together, but they even subjugate. What is that?
That's Pool Party Syndra.
Those look like soccer balls.
You know what it looks like? It looks like female Waka from Final Fantasy X, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Actually, that's crazy.
What is the name of the place called? It begins with a B.
Oh man, it's my favorite Final Fantasy.
It's like
the one thing that I actually do. It's like Belshir? No, that's
that's
a StarCraft map.
Belshir, yeah. Besaid.
Besaid, okay.
Besaid,
yeah.
So this Syndra is from Besaid, and she plays Blitzball in Final Fantasy X.
And
This is exactly
also Crabbrave. And
very
wow,
mad that we
they
found
killed
that
the
out.
crab.
Yeah.
What?
I can't believe that she did that.
What?
Corruption, honestly.
How is that even allowed?
Not totally sure.
I think we need to get that skin banned.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not happy with this at all.
Actually, I'm tweeting at Pito right now.
Yeah.
I will not stand for this.
Somebody better have Crabbrave
Yeah.
notes. Otherwise, I mean, I'm not going to be happy. Well,
definitely, I think the reason that they chose to lock in the skin is they knew that they were going up against Titus in the bot lane.
yeah.
And so when Titus is on the team, you're going to really want to bring your A game. And so that's why Sandra here has decided to come in. And that is a very bizarre trade by Mickey.
Yeah, that was really... He
Okay,
took
yeah.
so much aggro from all of the minions, and he just took Qs in the face.
Yeah.
He might even have to pop 2 corrupting pots here as we take a look at the LCK total, 10-5.
And he's pushing, the distortion there is really bizarre. I mean, he's going to... Okay, well, that whiffed. Scout of the week.
Yeah.
So he can actually cheater on this wave. This is the third wave, we'll see. Syndra is a champion that can be a little bit difficult to cheater against, but when you're LeBlanc in this position, you don't really have a choice. And you can see that Trundle running on over Ixu in the most unfortunate of situations here against Kennen. I mean, he's failing the cheater. He's missing so much CS as well.
Oh, here we go. He's going to have to flash here, I think. Chains come down. There's the flash. No stun from Fate. I didn't really see that land. Flawless kind of in no man's land, waiting for on fleek. 1 and 14.
I don't know what Graves is doing.
Is Graves?
I have no idea what he's doing. You're never stealing it. I mean, you have LeBlanc coming in with TP.
Well, yeah, maybe he could have earlier, but he delayed.
He doesn't have Ignite, so...
Yeah.
Chunks fade a lot, but very surprising to not let OnFleek start up the camp and then go on him and try to steal.
Yeah.
Especially because you have the Ricochet on the end of the line. So, very surprising. Nice double shot, though, by Flawless. He is angling that with his mouse.
Yeah. And he was the one win of Graves, so... The one savior.
The other really cool thing is we can see the surplus of Spellcaster minions here in top lane.
Yeah.
And Wave was pushing away, but it looks like they want to coordinate a dive.
Awkward spot here for Secret, and he's going to flash, but that's easy. I mean, they didn't even need on fleek, and they're going to kill, maybe, close, but not quite. Summit here, awkward spot. Mickey trying to get on top of him. Summit did already flash, so that's a nice kill there as Mickey nearly dies.
Yeah.
But picks up the assist.
And he's able to feel like he can do this because it's a cannon wave, but unfortunately, the cannon's going to die, and the entire wave is going to go into the void. So, the EXP and the gold, it's actually not the end of the world, because the cannon wave is about 200 gold.
Yeah.
So, when you factor the EXP in, now Fate didn't actually go for a recall, which I find very surprising. Could have just taken this opportunity to reset.
Forward?
Yeah, I don't know what Secret is doing there. The Tongue Lash doesn't do anything. You're not trying to serve a purpose. Your jungler is on the opposite side of the map, and you knew where Trundle just was. And you know that there's a possibility that it could be bottom. Let's take a look at how they coordinate this. Summit trying to stay underneath the turret. And if you're the blue team right here, when you're trying to coordinate this dive, there's actually a hotkey. Not many people know about it. It's the tilde key. It's select champion only. So it makes it so that if you right-click the opponent, you can't misclick the turret. And a lot of people don't utilize that mechanic, and so they end up misclicking a lot. Should rebind it to probably something else so that it's less awkward on the hand, but it's a really nice mechanic.
You don't want to use your item that's on 1 either.
Yeah.
But, I mean, early on in the game, maybe you're going to have some corrupting pot there or something like that. As, yeah, I mean, all of that happened in that trade for SeolHaeOne Prince was 1 back and more. Summit was able to TP back. He barely missed. He actually didn't miss anything in terms of CS up in the top side. He's going to maintain his lead. And also, Infernal did go the way of SANDBOX, so another little win for them there. Obviously, a lot of damage in their comp, so they can utilize that in later stages.
Yeah, I mean, SANDBOX are in a pretty good position right now. Still ahead in CS in top lane. Kennen's feeling pretty happy. And Syndra is ahead in EXP. Now, this is the really weird thing, where Fate is getting somewhat low on mana. Blue buff is coming up, but the question is, do you really want to sustain into it instead of just recalling into as much power as you have and then utilizing blue buff? So, could just expend his spells to get the wave crashed in. Root and Gorilla, though, are going to go for a big trade.
They are dominating bot lane. That was very early. Maybe he just really wanted to push Mickey back so he could get a quick push and back.
Well, now Syndra doesn't have R, so...
And he doesn't have any mana. Okay, he's going to get some back, and there's Blasting Plants here. Up the wall he goes, and, well, okay, right back to Summit, who's going to be able to take him down, but he's probably going to pay for it for his life. There he goes. On fleek on top of him, and now Fate's the one that's flashing in. Speaking of a red team comp, we're not going to be able to get this bear, though.
Yeah. And so now Ixu, the state of the minion wave means that it's pushing back into Ixu, so he can recall and he's happy. I'm actually very surprised that On Fleek and Fate didn't try to shove it, because Kennen isn't going to be able to get there in time to really crash the second wave, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Let's take a look at the replay here. So Flawless and On Fleek, they're fighting over the Raptor. Now remember, Fate, his mana pool is very low. He also just used the Unleashed Power. He goes over the wall, flashback north, and Ixu ends up getting locked up, but it's not the end of the wall. Face plant, Yokozuna right there off the top rope onto Kennen. And then Syndra came over the wall too, but they weren't able to get a kill. They did get the flash out of Volibear, really good itemization out of Ixu. Just going for the Merc Tread's first item. Really helps you stick onto Kennen, mitigate a lot of his damage and his harass. And so this game is still somewhat even. I would say that SANDBOX are still favored right now. They have that first Infernal Drake.
Yeah, they have that first one, and bot lane is still going really well for them. Although Hybrid has been able to keep up in terms of the CS, so that is one saving grace, even if Secret did go down. You can see the assist ping up in the top side by Summit, maybe asking for some help. But he was able to push it in, as they're going to find Tom Kench again here up in the front for so much free damage. As, oh, okay, Root is really confident.
Yeah, Root really hopping around.
Yep. He's going to blow his heal.
And Graves, I mean, he's coming down here because Ezreal's mana pool is too low and he doesn't have teleport. So if Root and Gorilla just kept this lane phase up, it would be really good, because Ezreal also doesn't even have tier. Ixu does not have R yet, but he's fine. So On Fleek, a little bit of a sinful jungle gank. And in doing so, he's falling very far behind in the XP. Now, Graves had recalled. Had On Fleek shown a little bit earlier, he would have lost probably some of his right-side jungle camps. Rift Herald is being started up, and SANDBOX, I think, are rotating to it.
Yeah. Everybody's up here on the top side. SANDBOX have one goal in mind, and that is to take the, well, Graves is just dead. That is a unfortunate face check. Don't really know why you would decide to go in there. Nobody showed bottom lane. Syndra was out of the lane.
Yeah,
you can kind of guess that they're all going to be on that objective.
And just like that, Graves loses a lot of the control that he had going for him. He was up so much in EXP. You can see Trundle still level 6. Graves had Warrior Enchant. And Ixu, oh, he's doing the thing, the 3-and-3 on Volibear. A lot of people do not do that. It's very, very good. Put 3 points W, 3 points Q. That way you transition very smoothly early into mid-game, and you have relevancy. Because if you just max Q, sure, you go really fast, you get the stun, but then you don't have any sustain. If you max W, you're really slow, you can never really get a stun. So doing 3 and 3 is a lot better on Volibear than just outright maxing an ability. And generally against range champions, you're going to max Q first so that you can stick to them in lane. You want to pull it, and then you want to conduct your laning phase equivalent to how Set would, where he tries to constantly freeze and then use his Q to generate stuns with Facebreaker. Very, very similar pattern. Cloud Drake is up. We'll see when SANDBOX end up getting it. And if you are SANDBOX, you probably want to roll Mountain more than anything else this game.
Yeah, Mountain feels pretty good, although Ocean is never really that bad. That's a really good trade with Ultimate not available, actually, for Fate. May have been able to try to chase him down. Note that Fate, again, he did not take Teleport. He's got Ignite in this lane. So he's looking for those opportunistic picks in the lane, in the isolated 1-for-1, and to have optimal trading power rather than lane presence. And yeah, SANDBOX just going to take this down. Doesn't really look like anybody on the side of SeolHaeOne and Prince want to go for it. And there is your Mountain Soul coming up next here. And this is very early on, by the way. This is 4-12 minutes. So we could have a pre-22-minute, technically, Soul coming in here as they're really trying to push their edge down in the bottom lane.
This is going to be very interesting. What ends up happening, SANDBOX, they continue to extend their lead ever so slightly. Volibear in the mist. This is just like that. Just like when they revealed him in ARAM.
Oh, Mickey. Okay, that's going to be a missed stun, and now On Fleek is in a bit of trouble. Gorilla is going in. We got TP coming in. That's Cannon, by the way. Let's take a look at how much damage he can get done. Ixu is actually going to live for quite a while. They couldn't actually pick him off for a while there, but still. They do get the double kill over to Fate. Hybrid, he's got Flash, but there's too many sticks. And down he will go. Will it just be the ace as they're chasing down Flawless?
Yeah, this one's over.
Well, he's got a splash. Stun is going to miss.
Ooh, gets the phase rush, yeah.
Yeah.
Able to hold on to his flash, but I mean, everything is just really falling apart right now.
Yeah.
Inside of this game. And SANDBOX, I mean, they're getting exactly what they want to happen. Things are really turning around for them here in this game. So let's take a look at it. Mickey goes on to Syndra. And so because he goes on to Syndra, he doesn't have the ability to also help to get onto On Fleek. So takes him a million years, gets locked up by Nautilus, and also Fate just doing so much damage. Mickey goes back in, kills Gorilla, but it's not the point. And the whole thing is just really, really, really forced. Ezreal doesn't want to fight at this point in time. And best case scenario, they only get 1 kill unless SANDBOX handshake that, and that's if they do everything right. So a lot of a commitment. And as we come back into live, I see that Ixu has a sheen on him, so he's going into Trinity Forest when he's behind. It's going to be pretty bad news bears. 3,000 gold deficit, and I don't really know what SeolHaeOne Prince is intending to do.
Yeah, I think that has been a bit of their problems too. They don't really flesh it out. You know, they don't think very far into the future in terms of like, oh, we have this kind of composition, we have this champion that hits his power spike at this many items, and then we're going to try to fight around that. It's like they're just so opportunistic in the sense that they see a chance and they're like, oh, let's just do it. Let's see what happens. And it's a very free style of playing, but it doesn't really work very well here in the LCK. Especially if you don't have the absolute awesome players to back it up. And so SANDBOX just gonna kind of stroll around the map. They're in a very comfortable lead at this point. Still very early on in the game. We're only hitting 15 minutes now.
And minute and a half until that mountain comes up. We'll see if Hybrid is going to be able to complete the Muramana. Likely not. And that was a lot of spears. Root really dishing out so much damage right now. Everything is just looking very good right now for SANDBOX. And there's no chance that Volibear is going to have that Trinity Force available. So he's still going to be trailing behind Kennen. Graves also with the serrated dirt. And unfortunately for him, Trundle, Ninja Tabi. Kennen probably going to go Zanya's after this Oblivion Orb was picked up. Oh!
Okay.
Whoa!
He's just dead. Just like that. Just disappears. And Mickey was the one that started the trade, but he just gets stood up. And there you have it. Fate's going to pick up that solo kill. Maybe didn't factor in the Ignite. It's not very often. They're going up against Ignite Syndra as LeBlanc. And yeah, that just about does it here for this mid lane. Fate is going to easily take the W there.
Yeah. And it's just really, really hard now. LeBlanc, when she's behind like this, Ezreal behind, it just requires so much more time. And with these early dragons coming out for a sandbox, let's take a look at how this transpires. Corrupting Potion started right away. Ends up using Q, and there it is. I got it.
Oh, he didn't even
use Ignite.
Yeah, he waited until here. And, well, Summit's in a little bit of trouble. This is not going to be pretty.
Oh,
he's trying to kill.
Oh, that was a big fat shutdown. That was thick.
Yeah.
600.
And that's right before this mountain.
Yeah, and Summit doesn't have teleport. So we'll see if this is actually a window for SeolHaeOne Prince back into the game.
Syndra missed her stun with the 2 orbs on the ground. A little bit too far away from them, I guess. As Root is just standing in front of Ixu like, yeah, I dare you to do anything to me. He's all alone here in the front line. Nobody is supporting him. Finally, he's going to get in there with Mickey. That's going to be a big leash onto the back line. As Fate is going to pick up one more, though. This is going to be a huge shutdown. This is so much that he has given.
Whoa!
And they give it to Secret. Well, On Fleek is going to be locked up, and, well, he did not calculate.
What are you doing?
He didn't calculate the death timer, I guess.
Oh, On Fleek got smite.
Yeah, he does. He's going to get in here, and it is going to go the way of Graves.
Oh. Manages to get over.
No Mickey voice yet. He didn't do anything good this game.
Oh, man.
Wow. Fiery fights around the train.
Man. Wow. Let's take a look at how this all transpired. Summit trying to just buy a lot of time, but obviously his teammates are never coming. Tries to do the Slicing Maelstrom, tries to get as much value as possible. Flawless actually walks back in, takes a lot more damage. Very big shutdown. Mickey coming over here. Ixu finds his way onto Root, and then actually gets the shield from his E, tries to powerbomb on top of Root. Mickey finds the way, finds the Root onto Root, and then onto On Fleek, and just so many kills handed over to SeolHaeOne Prince. And a Mountain Dragon is really, really, really good for SeolHaeOne Prince against this sandbox team composition. And Mickey, I don't really, I can't bail him out here.
Yeah.
That was
nothing to say or do about that one.
But we'll see. Sandbox, they're still ahead 2,000, and their Infernal is still more valuable than the Mountain, I believe, at this point in time. So, what healing does Kennen need to reduce?
Okay, so let me break it down for you. We got
on hit.
We got
the taste of blood.
No, Doran's Blade.
Okay.
On Ezreal. Okay. Yeah. That's it. That's actually the reason.
Don't even, unironically, the Volibear W. Because it's better to make Kennen dump all this gold than to just ask Kalista with Runons to pick up Executioners, if that's the argument. Very, very.
Well, I doubt that much thought went into it, to be honest. And, yeah, I mean, he used...
Because there's so much downtime, is the other thing, right? So, you have so much downtime till the next dragon comes up.
Yeah.
But
he doesn't need all that power right now. He can wait and get a different item. For when that next fight eventually happens in about 2.5 minutes, is my guess.
Well, 2.5 minutes is the next team fight. We'll see if anyone can actually complete items. Now, Ezreal still didn't have Miramana. And a lot of that was, remember, he had to get bailed out of the laning phase because he went Sheen just to Q spam during the lane.
Yeah.
That he was behind in, so didn't have the tier stacking up. So we'll see if he can actually get to the Miramana. He does have the Cull in his inventory, which he can't sell. Also very close to Trinity Force. This is a massive spike in power that SANDBOX have not been having to account for at this point in time.
Yeah, Miramana going to be completed now. And, well, he's not going back yet. So we know he doesn't have that item Trinity Force completed just yet. SANDBOX still heavily controlling this one, even the side lane. Summit was doing a good job there. As True Shot Barrage, I guess, to check Baron? I don't... Well, they have like zero vision right now on the map, so...
And Syndra's going Spellbinder, which I find very interesting. So, Fate really valuing the utility that the item's going to give over any sort of like burst damage or outright control.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. Secret, I have no idea why he is where he is, but Mickey's going to come over!
That is big from Mickey, and now Fadus is going to get blasted by Flawless from downtown as Ixu, he's all alone. They won the fight, and they won the Ixu all alone.
Whoa!
That's a big chain
that was a
Root.
big
one.
on
The Q!
He's inside!
Nearly enough as, okay, finally the Kennen ultimate comes out, and, well, Root's just going to flash the wall after failing that one. Mickey is going on a journey of a lifetime, and he's not here for the entire fight. Gorilla going to get away for now, but here finally comes the LeBlanc as Hybrid is pretty low, and he's going to get that kill. And now it's just up to Mickey to try to get on top of it. That is a big pillar to stop Mickey from getting in, but it is LeBlanc. And...
almost has W.
No, the shield! Oh, he got it.
Smacked him.
Yeah.
He does,
And there it is. Root is here too late. And there should be enough mana. Yeah, Mickey's going to get away. That is a very extended... I mean, Mickey traveled like 2,000 miles in that fight.
Did so much, and he has teleport available. Oh, man. And let's take a look at how this all happened. So, Secret comes over here to ward. Mickey's on the left-hand side, and he goes on to Fate. Manages to get him with the chain, dodges the Syndra Scatter of the Weak. He stays in, manages to evade the Callista ultimate as well. Summit teleported in. Graves picked up a Mountain Dragon. And Mickey landing the chain onto Root. Managed to get the heal out of him, forced him to flash as he followed him into the pit. And right here, Flawless and friends, they're trying to do so much damage. Hybrid getting a lot of free deal. Arcane shifts over the wall, doesn't actually auto-attack the Nautilus. Mickey joins in, trying to body block against Kennen. Summit, really good with the right clicks. Gorilla does flash away, Pillar comes in from on fleek. And Mickey manages to get them both. So Ludensprock also going on to on fleek, point blank, Mimic. Ends up killing Trundle, and all of a sudden, double Mountain Drake with resistances being picked up on most of these champions. I have no idea where Flawless is going with his itemization path, I'll be completely honest with you, but we're going to ignore that for the time being.
Hey, the Wraith Blade's a really good item.
As...
That's, you know, he picked that up, and now he's going in an entirely different direction.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Honestly, a Hex Drinker would have been so good in a spot like this. Just pick that up.
We talked about the magic damage that they have.
They have 4 champions that are dealing magic. So,
yeah. So
and you're
well, this is an unfortunate hop back. He's
so
going to get. He's going over the wall, but he burns down. Subjugate. Pretty good. There's that magic damage. Well, he does have a Banshees, but it's not enough to save him in that instance. That was actually a good setup by SANDBOX. They're really using that side brush and the extra little rock that's there from the mountain rift to be really annoying against people checking the Baron. So I like how they're playing the map here. It must be a Yamato influence. Let's be real. Coming in here now, it's 5-on-4. That's a big Nagabot on 2. Make it a double Nagabot to 2. And that's going to be the end there of Flawless. So they get the pick, but they're not going to go back onto the Baron.
And Kalista doing quite a lot of damage there. 4,000 gold, or just under 4,000. Now for SANDBOX.
Root's kind of getting out of control right
now.
now.
Yeah, Root almost has the death stance. That's going to be very scary. Let's take a look at this. Mickey, so he's coming in here. He wants to just check on the Baron. He manages to check on it, takes the distortion back, gets the bad news. And not able to quite get away. Trundle with the subjugate, red smite as well. Secret, he face checks right here. And then they both get knocked up, and there's just not really anything that could happen. Graves could have flashed at the very last second, but he would have died anyway, so it's good that he just holds on to it. And so now Baron, it is still live. Mountain Drake 2 minutes away. Those resistances can come in handy, but SANDBOX still in a very commanding position inside of this game. Very big item spikes right now on the side of SANDBOX. Death Dance finally does come in for Kalista. Ezreal still ways away from it. The Dark Seal did take a hit as well. On to LeBlanc. Spirit Message now is completed.
We got a cute hat there for Summit. He's got his death cap already. And yeah, I mean, there is a decent amount of magic resist that is being built onto 3 of the members of SeolHaeOne Prince. But still, Hybrid and Flawless, not going to have too much.
Yeah, the thing is Flawless's build is definitely a little bit lost to Shopkeeper. Honestly, I think I need to talk to his accountant and tell him about a certain item in the shop, 3,100 gold. But we'll see what happens in the team fight.
Is that Spellbinder? Or?
That's Leandro.
Oh. Never heard of it.
Get yours today.
Yeah. Well, here comes female Waka, just going to throw that soccer ball in there, and Secret is going to go down. He's actually still alive! That's the catfish.
He was really lubed up.
Yeah.
Managed to squeeze through to the other side.
Somehow, yeah, man, those fish, they find a way. And, well, Mickey's trying his best to kind of do what Faker did last series, but he's not quite there. Not quite there, indeed. But we do have no teleport, actually, from the side of SANDBOX, but they're backing here. Yeah, we got 10 seconds. Okay.
So they can use that.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
SANDBOX, though, 3 members go back and is about to spawn.
Summit is trying to just clear out this bot wave. And we'll see what he ends up doing in the team fight. What? That was surprising.
Bizarre, indeed.
Indeed.
Peculiar.
Oh, Fate. Oh, no. This is actually, I mean, it's somewhat obnoxious because...
If SeolHaeOne Prince were challenging.
He ends up not doing anything.
Yeah.
He gets it.
They end up just giving it over to SANDBOX here. And, yeah, I mean, there's resistances here on the side of SANDBOX, too. Especially for Trundle, Kalista, and Nautilus.
And that's going to be Soul Point coming online. Now, I'm not sure what SeolHaeOne Prince are waiting for in order to take the team fight, because they just had some of their item completions come in. I suppose they're waiting for the Death Stance on Ezreal. Volibear is also almost level 16. Perhaps they're waiting on Mickey to ding that as well, who is up a level, by the way, over the Syndra. And a lot of that probably is coming from the solo kills that Mickey managed to get, even the scattered ones, pretty much, in mid-game. Rapid Fire Cannon on Graves, it was bug fixed a few patches ago, but it's just not a necessary item. Everyone on the enemy team is so short range, and it's just about creating thresholds and safety for the other teammates. It's just such a peculiar buy.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Very confusing. But we're going to take a look at just how thin Tom Kench is, actually. Wow, look at this. Just walks through.
He's so massive, he just gets displaced.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
He went up and over. That's probably what happened.
A lot of things are 70% water. Tom Kench is about 95.
Yeah.
So it really works out for him.
Okay, well, that's a nice Devour. It's going to be on cooldown here. Over the wall does have to go Summit, and everybody is really separated. Mickey is going to be ulted there. And now the chase begins. Root is so fed that he's chunking these relatively squishy members on the side of SeolHaeOne. As here they come again.
Yeah, SeolHaeOne Prince's coordination here is very, very off at this point in the game. And we'll see. Ixu does have teleport available. It is still a 4,000 gold lead, almost exactly, for SANDBOX, but that doesn't really matter as much as the items. Syndra almost should have the Void Staff available. And so we'll see if she gets it on the reset. Let's take a look at this team fight one more time. Ezreal Arcane shifts forward. Gets hooked by Gorilla. Devour by Tom Kench. Summit gets in there. Really good slicing Maelstrom. Ezreal gets over the wall into safety. And Ixu just so separated from his team. I mean, Volibear, you can really see in a lot of the games where he doesn't just get a massive advantage, you can see a lot of the problems that the champion ends up having. And it's definitely very frustrating for him to try to conduct himself. Void Staff was picked up.
They're just going to do this here.
Yeah.
And they cleared out the ward that could have potentially seen them, but I think it was started really early. They're going to get the news now, even so, as TPs are coming in, but it's a little bit too little too late, especially up against Kalista, as there will be the Smite and the Rend. Now they're trying to chase down the top. They got to be careful about this. Root is going to be nearly burst in the backline, but he's still alive, as Root is just going to stand up to the bear, put him in his place. Flawless, running home with about 5 health. And so they get the Baron and 4 kills. SANDBOX running away with this game.
And this is going to be the end. Looks like Summit really wanted to go on the chase, but ends up letting him live. It doesn't even matter. The Baron minions are walking down mid lane. SANDBOX look like they were just going to take game number 1. Flawless is trying to recall, but, I mean, there's nothing to do. It's definitely game over.
Too little, too late here for SeolHaeOne Friends. SANDBOX, they're definitely going to look for this last kill, and they will easily get it here, as it will go the way of Summit. GG, as that was a big win from SANDBOX. It did feel like a stomp, even though there was a couple of moments there in the mid-game where there were some messy fights, and SeolHaeOne were able to capitalize on them. It feels like SANDBOX are heading in the right direction, but could certainly use some cleaning up in some of those mid-game fights.
I'm trying to think, actually, who to give the player of the game to.
Yamato.
Because it's so separated between... It feels like you could make an argument for Fate, because the LeBlanc got sort of neutralized inside of laning phase, and there was a lot of good plays later.
Yeah.
But also, Root and Gorilla just doing so well down in the bot lane. So, I don't... Yeah, maybe I really don't know, actually.
Yeah.
This is really one of those weird ones. It's really...
It wasn't a game where one person really stood out in a big way.
Yeah, I'll give it to Root.
Caster synergy.
Yeah, honestly, this one, I would be very surprised if it's not one of those votes that it's all over the place.
Yeah, and the winner is
it's like a tiebreaker.
4 out of 12.
Yeah, right.
Referee tiebreaker.
It's a very bizarre... Now, SANDBOX, they almost threw that game away at that Dragon. It made it very close again. It made it a game again. But they managed to get so ahead on their own accord in the early stages, and so that was really good. SeolHaeOne Prince continuing to really look lost, and Hybrid cannot turn it on like he did in Spring to carry these kind of games. Mickey had a moment in this game where he was starting to turn things around. He went on that little adventure, but then after that ended up dying twice for seemingly no reason, and just a lot of pointless advances up mid lane led to SeolHaeOne Prince just giving off random picks, never really able to regain control, and it was just very weird.
Yeah, definitely kind of all over the place for SeolHaeOne, as it has been for a lot of their past games. We'll see if they can kind of shore things up against SANDBOX, who have come to play. as long as they can fix their mid-game fights and not throw as hard as they did in game 1. They were at least able to stabilize, so we can give that to them. But guys, we'll be back after the break for game number 2.
먹어봐. 이거 먹어? 르블랑 잘해. 르블랑 잘해. 먹어. 르블랑 잘해. 너무 좋다.
네네네 먹어봐. 지금 먹어. 뭔가 아래로. 나 시작한 거야.
자, 르블랑 먹게. 르블랑 살짝
잡아 우리
르블랑 잡았어. 르블랑
아래.
아래 봐줘.
야 이제 잡았어.
야, 미드 가자.
나 피흡 줘 얘들아. 나 미드 피흡 줘.
그레이브한테 암살당한다. 아, 그거 집 갔어. 얘 필이야.
아 형 그거
이거 쳐. 냅둬.
빨리. 나 3마리면 피흡 다 돼.
걔네 그냥 와봐. 이거
피흡 줘.
그거 사진 따라왔다. 야, 끝낼 거니까 앞에 가서 공 대주라. 탱크 많은 애들이. 끝났어. 다음은
급하게 해서 미안하다.
나 괜찮아.
나 이겼으면 됐어. 좀 내줘라.
내가 약간
내가 해줄게.
기둥을 잘 쓰면 뭔가 될 것 같기도 하고. 내가 기둥을 그렇게 못하거든. 어쨌든 저희 이겼으니까 너무 잘하지 마요. 너무 신경 쓰지 마요.
네이스.
다음 판 잘하죠.
아.